Good morning, baseball fans. Pitchers and catchers officially report today. So it's beginning of baseball season. I'm super excited. I'm pumped. It's a snow day today. We got a snowstorm coming through Illinois here, but it doesn't matter because baseball season is back. And today we're going over the Boston Red Sox, the 2025 Boston Red Sox. We're going over the 2025 Red Sox. Did the owner deliver on his promise to be in on all the free agents this winter? Does this roster have enough to push the Yankees, the Orioles, and other teams in the American League for a chance at the World Series? Are these Red Sox for real? Let's get into this video.
Hey, take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd.
So first things first, this winter, Red Sox owner John Henry said they would be in on all the free agents, that they were going to be signing 2 of the 3 big starting pitchers. They were going to be in on this guy and that guy. They didn't end up with Corbin Burns. They did end up with making a trade for Garrett Crochet. They did end up signing Walker Buehler, who I think could end up being the steal of the free agent class. And they also signed Aroldis Chapman to help shore up the bullpen. Is it enough, though? Let's go over the pitching staff first. Garrett Crochet, who they traded for, is going to obviously be the leader of this staff. He's one of the nastiest lefties in baseball. They got him from the White Sox. Their farm system's so loaded, it wasn't even a problem to make this trade. So you have Garrett Crochet at the top. You have Tanner Hoak, Brian Bello, little baby Pedro, Cutter Crawford, Walker Buehler, and Lucas Giolito. So 6 starting pitchers. So they may go with the 6-man rotation. It seems like a lot of teams are starting to head this way in a 6-man rotation, which is very interesting. They also have Patrick Sandoval, who's coming off an injury, but they signed him for more depth. And then if you get into the bullpen, you have your closer, Liam Hendricks. You also have Chapman, could close games, Garrett Whitlock, Justin Slayton, Greg Weissert, Justin Wilson, and Josh Winchowski. Some of these guys might be in the pen. Some of these guys might not be in the pen, but that's who Fangraphs has penciled into those spots right now. Their starting pitching is pretty good. Garrett Crochet at the top is really, really good. Tanner Hoak is really good. Brian Bello is really good, and I look for him to pick up and build off of last year. Walker Buehler, though, has a legit chance to be the number 2 starter here. Fangraphs has him at 1.8 WAR, and I say hogwash on that. I think Walker Buehler is going to be the number 2 starter in Boston by the time we get to the All-Star break. It'll be pretty clear that he is that guy. Walker Buehler is very, very good, very underrated by Fangraphs, in my opinion, right now. And I think that this Red Sox rotation, if they go with the 6-man rotation or even if they go with the 5, has a chance to be one of the best in the American League. Bullpen, I'm not sure. I feel like they could use another arm, but if you look at the statistics from last season, it's not too bad. Hendricks is pretty good. Chapman, even though he's getting up there in age, is still pretty good. Put up some solid numbers last year. They actually believe he's going to close some games this year as well, which he could. They could go, with both closers to lock down the games and give him a 1-2 punch lefty-righty and be very solid. So the bullpen at the top, I think, is really good. It's in the middle and the bottom where it could use some shoring up. All right, the other big question about Boston is, are they going to end up with Alex Bregman? Are they going to end up with Nolan Arenado? Are they going to end up with neither of them? What's this going to look like if they end up with one of them or with neither of them? Well, if they end up with neither of them, the lineup's looking like this. Jarren Duran, you have Devers, Tristan Casas, Trevor Story, Yoshida, Wilyer Abreu, Connor Wong, David Hamilton, and Ceddanne Rafaela. I hope I said that right. I really like that kid a lot. I think he could end up being a top-of-the-order type hitter if they don't trade him. There was talks that he could be the player moved in a Cardinals trade for Arenado, depending upon how much the Cardinals put in of Arenado's salary. If they pay half of it, the $64 million or whatever it is, which they may have to do to get him moved, they could get a kid like him back, or they could get somebody from the farm system. Now, a trade with Boston would be very good for us because you know who's in St. Louis now, right? The guy who drafted a lot of these players that are in this stacked Red Sox farm system, Chaim Bloom. Maybe that's part of the reason Boston's kind of hesitant to make a trade right now, or maybe they still believe they're in on Alex Bregman. Either way, they need another bat. They need a third baseman, in my opinion, to move Devers to first base or DH, whatever they decide. But I really hope they don't move Tristan Casas because I feel like that would be a mistake. I know his name was floated around this winter, but they really do not need to move this kid. I think he's going to be an absolute unit, whether it be at first base, DH, whatever they do with them. But if they could add Arenado or Bregman, they could move Bregman actually to second base in place of David Hamilton, put Hamilton on the bench. That would be very, very good for them. And Bregman would be willing to play that, but they've got to pony up the money for him. And right now it seems like nobody's wanting to pony up the years for Alec Bregman, and that's the big issue and the holdup with him. On the bench in Boston right now, you got Carlos Narvaez, Vaughn Grissom, Romy Gonzalez, and Rob Refschneider. Now, whether these guys are actually on the bench or not come the end of spring training, I don't know. And the reason I say that is because the farm system is very loaded, and it just depends on if they give any of these kids an actual shot at the big leagues this year. So let's go take a look at that. At the top of their prospect rankings is an absolute, probably the best prospect in baseball, Roman Anthony. Went to AAA last year, 20 years old. 335, 463, 519 in AAA is what he slashed. So there's a very good chance that he could come out, have a very good spring, and he's in the outfield on opening day, and then that opens up a trade potential. You also have Christian Campbell, second base outfielder, 22-year-old, ended up at AAA. Very good chance of playing this year. Marcel Mayer, shortstop, 22, was at AA. Probably going to be at AAA this year. I don't think he's going to push for a spot this year. He probably needs a whole year at AAA, but we'll have to see. And they're tier 2 here. Franklin Arias, Luis Perales. Those guys are tier 2 for Boston, but they be tier 1 for a lot of teams. Same thing with Miguel Bleis. Very high ceiling. Cespedes, another name that's been floated around in a potential trade for Arenado. Garcia, David Sandlin, Richard Fitz, and Hunter Dobbins. All these guys. These are tier 3 guys in Boston, but these are tier 2, tier 1 type guys for a lot of people's farm. Boston's farm is absolutely loaded, and a lot of this is due to Chaim Bloom. He knows these prospects very well. He drafted and built this farm system. So I'm interested to see if the Cardinals do end up kicking in that extra money to get a trade done and who they might get from the system. My bold prediction for the Boston Red Sox pitching staff is Walker Buehler will end up having the highest pitcher WAR in the rotation this year. He'll be higher than Garrett Crochet. He'll be higher than Tanner Hoak, Bello, Crawford, Giolito, all of them. That is my bold prediction. I think Walker Buehler signed this prove-it deal. He's going to prove it. He's going to shove in Boston, and he's going to end up being their most valuable pitcher in the rotation this season. Right now, they have Crochet predicted at 4.5, and like I said, Buehler at 1.8. Hogwash, I think that by the end of the season, Buehler's going to put up a 5 WAR year. All right, my bold prediction for the Red Sox offense is they're going to trade for Nolan Arenado before the season starts. He's going to be back in Boston with his best friend, Trevor Story, and he's going to absolutely rake in Boston. He's going to take advantage of the left field. He's a dead pole hitter. I'm talking 3.5 WAR this year from Nolan Arenado at third base for Boston, and he's going to help solidify the middle of that lineup, be the right-handed bat, solidify that defense at third base, and be an absolute unit for the Boston Red Sox. Watch what I tell you. Before the season starts, he will be in a Red Sox uniform. Bold prediction for the Boston Red Sox team this year, they're going to push the Yankees in the American League East. I think they're going to surpass Baltimore. I know everybody likes Baltimore. I like Baltimore. I just don't feel like they've done enough on their pitching staff to make them good enough to beat out the Yankees or the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox are the second best team. I like the Blue Jays a little bit too. Can never discount Tampa either. I just feel like this Red Sox rotation depth is good. I really like the 1-2 punch at the top of the rotation. I like their lineup, and I like adding Arenado to this lineup. I think we'll do a lot, and I think they're going to do that. And the good young players they have coming along, and Anthony, Rafaela, I just feel like that this team is going to push the Yankees for first in the American League East. I don't think they're going to overtake the Yankees, but I do think they are a solid second place this year. All right, so now I got to give you my 3 all-time favorite Red Sox players. Number 1, Nomar Garciaparra. Love this dude. Great shortstop. Injuries held him back a lot. I thought he was just as good as A-Rod. He didn't cheat like A-Rod, but the injuries really just held him back a lot from what he could have been. He could have been a Hall of Famer. Garciaparra was that talented. I remember when it was him and A-Rod, and it was Miguel Tejada. That's right. It was Miguel Tejada, Nomar Garciaparra, and Alex Rodriguez were all together at the same time. That was the big time class that was coming up. I remember that. And yeah, so Nomar is my number 1. Number 2, Big Papi David Ortiz. Yes, you know, there's some stuff out there that says he used steroids and he cheated or whatever, but if you know me, you know that I think all those guys should be in the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds 100% should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't want to get sidetracked by that conversation because we're talking about Big Papi. Big Papi was a joy to watch. He was a great player on and off the field. He was a great dude, and he's still a joy to watch on Fox Sports all the time, doing analysis and all that stuff for them. So Big Papi would definitely be my second favorite. And my third favorite is a new player coming to the show this year. That's the Rocket, Roger Clemens. He was one of the most dominant pitchers in 1985, all the way through the 80s and 90s. But him and Dwight Gooden were like this rookie 1-2 punch in 1985 that was absolutely crazy. He had a 20 strikeout game. Yes, he did cheat. Don't care. Still an all-time great pitcher and my number 3 favorite Red Sox player of all time. So that's the video today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're a Red Sox fan, let me know in the comments below who your favorite Red Sox player all time is. If you think I nailed the team assessment this year or where you think they're going to be, what do you like about this year's team? Anything. Just say hi if you want in the comments, but make sure to leave a comment on the video. Hit the thumbs up button, pretty please. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. I upload every day here. Baseball content only, MLB the Show, all teams. I'm not a homer, even though I'm a Cardinals fan. I just love talking baseball. So make sure you hit that thumbs up and you hit the subscribe button. Please feel free to follow all my socials. They are in the description of the video below. And until next time, you can catch me right here, same buck time, same buck channel.